Welcome back. We're going to play chess.
Yes! I'm not good at chess.
Well, it's too bad. You're going to have to play it against me eventually in Clubhouse 51 games. For now, we get to learn about this man. Who is he, Jordy?
Meet Cal Suresh. He's known as the Checkered King, and looking at his status, it shows.
Wait, this isn't checkers.
Yeah, okay,
He was on
never mind.
top of the world until a young up-and-starting dick showed up. I was saying dick is in... Oh, by the way, Balan's in the audience. I was saying dick because I was thinking of the freaking...
No!
I was thinking of the I was thinking of the Dover boys.
Oh,
that was Tom.
Okay.
Tom
Unhand
was the
my
one.
chess champion, Dan backslide!
But he did not take loss well.
It ruined his life.
And we're gonna have to learn with
Bagpipes.
really sick Celtic music.
Oh yeah, this is easily my favorite track in the game.
it's really nice.
It has a great kind of bounce, like power behind it. Again, definitely would recommend looking into Okage Shadow King's soundtrack as well. That's right, I forgot I have to show that to you guys later. This is very similar to the robot we saw in the Bird World, except this shoots out in 4 directions around us.
And look at us, we're hopping. It's so silly.
Feels very Alice in Wonderland.
I mean, you could honestly say that for this world in general, considering that much like the farmer's level earlier, this level wraps around.
That is true. And we have ourselves the Grand Chessboard Master and Careful. We'll also... Okay, another thing I'll say while we've been, just talking, another game that I'm looking forward to that's coming out later this month, as we record this in August, is... And that this is all remind me of, is I'm still looking super forward to Psychonauts 2.
Oh yeah, Psychonauts 2. I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Here's hoping that wine ages like fine wine.
I hope so. I think from what I saw when I was looking at Rompus of Ruin, the writing is still there, and I think they definitely have something that they're rolling with. And I mean, goes without saying, we did the first game eons ago, but but I will definitely be tackling the sequel eventually.
So, yeah, I guess out of a lot of the people that were trying to quote unquote save this game, you could definitely make a strong argument this guy kind of should just swallow his pride and just accept his loss.
I think so. I'm not saying that he doesn't deserve happiness or some form of purpose and resolution, but it definitely does feel like the most should I feel sympathetic for him? It kind of feels like
in
he's
the
a
game,
grown man and he's just
Do you want to say it, Steve?
Well, I feel like you and I are probably about to say 2 different things, so I'll let you go first.
Well, I will
Ladies
say
first.
in this game he's definitely one of the more petty inhabitants we've ever met, but
Thank you, Tims.
in the book, his story is actually a lot more sad than you think it is.
How so?
What is it? I'm curious.
Did you want to say it, Steve?
Well,
Was he trying to put his son through college and it was all
No,
been knocked down on this game?
It's worse than that.
Oh,
Well, I will
worse.
I will say you bringing up the novel pretty much cements the fact that you and I were thinking of 2 different things.
Okay.
Oh, that's probably true.
Well, you know what? Why don't we go ahead and let you take the show floor for a bit, Hype, before we get to that tragic story.
Well, all I was gonna say is that, like I mentioned in, I forget which number part it was, but there's a part of me that kind of likens the idea of, excuse me, kind of likens the idea that, compared to everyone else, his is a little bit more petty, but I also like thinking that kind of reinforces the fact that Balan doesn't really care how severe or petty someone's problem is. It's just that he's willing to help anyone that he feels needs help getting over something.
He wants them to feel
Yes.
happy.
He
Spread
loves
smiles.
Well,
happiness.
that is true. Though I guess at the same time, I guess it also is the matter that, you know what? The point I was about to bring up also goes into something that, again, the game does not do. So I'll just leave it at that.
All right. Well,
And again,
so
in the fact that this feels like something. Safety was part of the program. This feels like something where Lance would probably need more involvement.
Oh yeah, to kind of
yeah,
help encourage
you're
him. I
right.
see what you're saying. More involvement, just to encourage us to save the day. So what happened with the book then, Jordy? So what did we learn
Okay.
about Cal and that?
so what happens with Cal is,
Woo!
in the book, he has a stage that's all, medieval and whatnot, hence the music.
Mhm.
And he has this queen that acts as his wife. In reality, his wife got very sick and died.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
So where did that connect to chess? Was it like that was like his one passion or one thing to cope with the loss of his wife?
Yeah, like he got so absorbed with trying to win that he unintentionally neglected his wife's health. And it cost him greatly.
Wait, I mean, you know what? Not gonna say that's tragic. I'm not gonna say that it isn't tragic, because that does sound tragic. But I can't help but feel that that kind of comes out of left field for considering what we already see in the game.
I'll agree. Like, for something as serious as that, more so, like, I could say it's not as bad as the farm one, because the farm one, I could still argue that, you know, the purpose of his whole outro is he wants to feel accomplished and do something. But for someone like Cal, that does seem like a really, like, significant point to omit.
Like, honestly, that not only that, like I said before, it just kind of furthers my current, you know, my current opinion on the book, and that it just feels like bad fan fiction.
Say what you will, unless you actually read the book.
Well, I'll give the book. I'll give the book credit for the attempt of trying to flesh out some of the characters more than the game was able to. But I guess as far as like overall execution, I do agree. It does kind of like the execution opinions on the execution can vary.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Where are you going now?
I don't want to jump out of here. I was debating, like, should we continue exploring this world? But nah, we gotta get a move on.
I can't feel my arms.
Can I get out of this silly suit now?
I'm gonna show my friend Leo to everyone in town.
Wearing a...
Go ahead.
Something.
Go ahead.
Insert blank here suit. Continue.
Wearing a rook suit.
Is that a rook?
I think it's a rook.
I thought it was a bishop. Actually, no, that's the king.
The king
is the
one
cross
with
on its head.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah, and the bishop there is one with the like little jagged line through it, and those, of course, are the horses.
Wouldn't that be some shit? Wouldn't that be some shit though if the costume in question was based more on the steed rather than the king?
I mean,
yeah,
it makes. I think I could see the. Ooh. I mean, I could see that being a cool idea of, like, you know, that. Hence the metaphor of you literally being a knight to save the day.
Correct.
A key. I'll look a key.
I forget if we've already brought this up by now, but the keys are completely superfluous.
It's just rare. I don't think we've ever been in a situation where we've been like, oh no, we have to find a key. Like they always put it right next to the spawn of the costume.
Right. It almost feels it just, considering if when that's already the case, it honestly it feels like an unneeded extra step.
I'm sure there was a mechanic somewhere. Okay, we can't make that jump, but that jump looks doable. I'm sure there was a mechanic somewhere where, maybe you had to find... Maybe there was a finite number of keys, and if you found them, that's how you would unlock your costumes permanently. But again, the fact that they are deemed... The fact that the costumes were programmed to be consumable, and thus possible to lose... Like, the game designers, to their credit, were like, well, crap, we can't make these, you know... We can't make these things finite and hard to come by if you can lose them so easily. So we gotta put them everywhere and allow them to respawn if you lose it. But then again, yeah. But in the process of doing that, they also now run the risk of it looking, like you said, very unnecessary. Like, it almost feels like they could have just, you know, taken a step back and said, okay, hold on. If we don't want if we want the player to be constantly acquiring like more costumes like an inventory, then we shouldn't have to add multiple steps. Just, yeah, you see where this all kind of... Yeah.
Anyway, let's get over on the other side. Oh, balance
Jump
action.
on through to the other side, and there we go. Grab that one. Another thing that I'm curious if we could ever see done is...
What's up?
I'm wondering if, because I've been hearing rumors that Square Enix wants to look into producing like shorts in the same venue as, like, you know, Nintendo sometimes did those shorts with Pikmin or Yoshi.
Well,
I mean,
that from?
Honestly, considering they do have their own dedicated CG company, like, considering how often they still use them to this day, maybe just, you know, throw a few extra bucks their way to make a couple of those shorts.
I feel like.
That.
Like, I'm kind of curious, like, where did you hear this bit of news again?
It was mainly through Twitter aggregate. Oh, I heard James fall.
Yeah.
It was mainly through a Twitter aggregate, but it wasn't like the only main source that they had was that someone within the company was talking about them looking more into media, specifically after the likes of some games like Marvel's Avengers didn't do too hot.
Honestly,
they were trying to take a step back and find more cost-effective projects.
Honestly, between how Marvel's Avengers turned out and how people are reacting to Guardians of the Galaxy so far, I feel like they really need to get through their heads that they probably should never ever touch a Marvel property ever again.
Wait, people are upset about Guardians?
Well, I know a lot of people were like, I think a lot of it had to do with the fact of how long it took during that one presentation, but yeah, there are a lot of people that weren't really too keen on what they saw about Guardians. Not to the same, oh, this is disgustingness as Avengers, but still not enough to get people too into it.
I'll still give them the benefit of the doubt in that it is definitely taking it's not quite the same disaster in the making that Marvel's Avengers turned out to be, although I am a little skeptical about how the Switch version is going to be a cloud version.
Oh, that's right, yeah. That's how they're going to try and save on processor, running.
I mean, if it has to come to it, then I guess fair enough. But it's just one of those. It's one of those things where take it with a grain of salt.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Has the Switch cloud games ever worked for any game that's tried it?
I heard that the RE7 cloud version that was released only in Japan didn't work out.
And I don't believe Doom or Doom Eternal were cloud versions. I think those were re-optimized versions of the game.
They were. I know that there's a Switch version of Control that's also a cloud version.
I'll look up how that worked, because I do
Hey,
have control
bole. Now we get... So, the whole thing with this bull, we get to be Wario.
That's basically what it does. Perform my attack on go, wah!
Wah, 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 yeah.
Someone please mod this game so that he does that sound every time.
Honestly, I would be dumbfounded if people actually wanted to make mods of this game.
I would love that.
I would love that. Yes.
To be considering how much of a dumpster fire it is, I'm surprised there hasn't been more of an active modding community with this game.
This game's not really a dumpster fire. Actually, I'm wrong. It's a dumpster fire.
Let me rephrase that, because I just realized that same fucking I did that twice in this entire commentary. Considering how much of a flawed product it is.
Thank you.
Jesus.
It's okay.
Let it be known, ladies and gentlemen, that yes, I do agree that the whole thing is hyperbole, but I do also feel there is a part of me that does kind of agree with the masses that this game really should have been much better than it was.
I think you and I both agree that it dropped the ball. And
it really did.
And again, this is coming from two guys who put in at least 10 to 11 hours into the game. So
I mean,
we played this. We played the whole thing.
Oh yeah, no, we literally went through the entire game together at the very least, which sort of mitigates some of the platforming. Granted,
yeah.
Just the bottom line is that, much like my opinions on Power of Illusion, the Epic Mickey spin-off of the 3DS, there were some great ideas at play that just you can figure out the rest.
Yeah. Honestly,
and the purpose of us talking about this is we're not. We strongly hope that none of this is coming across as either antagonistic or wanting to put down Jordy's interest in the project, Hype's interest in the project, other people's interest in the project. This is just the matter that as we played it, we both looked at the situation. Again, it was probably around World 9 that we both looked at each other and thought to ourselves, we're having this much, we're having a little bit of a headache going through this chapter, and this is with the power of using co-op to exploit and get around some things. If I was playing this single player, I would have gone mad.
Although
that's kind of what happened to me.
The bottom line on the matter is that in terms of it being in terms of its production values, again, there's plenty that can be said about it for good or for bad. From the gameplay sense, there's not going to be much good in there. I'm sorry to say.
Although that being...
There are... I will say that the game is not broken in the sense of I definitely did not find ourselves, glitching and clipping through and no Silver the Hedgehog, it's no use kind of moments, but...
Oh god, no.
It played things very, very safe.
That being said, I do find it funny that James used a Power of Illusion as a comparison earlier, because that's kind of one thought that I've had...
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. That's kind of an overall thought that I've had with, Balan in general, and I recognize that's an opinion that's probably gonna get a lot of people uppity considering how much of a fan base it has. I really stand by the opinion that I feel like Balan is kind of like this generation's Epic Mickey in a sense of like, it has a lot of promise, and you can definitely tell that there is passion in it, but the core gameplay, for me anyway, just wasn't enough to really save what potential there was in it.
Fair enough, I guess. I will definitely say that I don't think Epic Mickey is quite of a drastic case as this game is, at least the first game. But otherwise, I do see the point you're trying to make.
Mm-hmm.
All right, boss time.
Oh yeah.
This one I like its design of this one especially. I like the fortress-esque design we're going to be seeing here.
Let me look up his name real quick.
Okay.
Wouldn't it suck that
Well,
this boss fight literally was just a game of chess?
Well, first off,
I
that's
know
the boss
you.
there. He's cute,
Running
and
away!
but he also has a mech suit.
Oh, okay, that's a mech suit. For a minute, I thought it was going to be like, excuse me, I needed to drink some milk.
Oh, if not that, I thought it was going to be the "Do not talk to me or my son ever again" kind of thing.
That's
Oh,
it.
Is it
God,
wrong? Is it wrong
yeah.
when I first saw that thing? That like, I'm sure a lot of people have made the comparison, but the King of Hearts from Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, yeah, it's
All
like...
right.
Man the king.
The jam! I ordered the king!
Oh, careful.
Alright. So we're looking
There you
for the black pieces. At the very end, you want to charge into... Uh-oh!
Uh-oh.
No!
Well,
Yeah, a
you-
little gung-ho there.
Well, you certainly charged.
Okay, well then, here's the other way we can deal damage if I'm correct.
Oh, oh, oh.
We can also do damage as soon as we wait for him to do his next move. We can also charge the cannons back into him. Launch him free. Whack.
Honestly, it would have
It's
been
a
a funny.
whack.
Honestly, it would have been a funny parallel if he was literally, just like a lousy king that had to call upon his lovely queen to fight us.
Would make sense with chess
Oh,
rules. Alright,
yes,
here we
it
go.
would have
Yeah,
made
it's just
sense.
I just
There
noticed
it
what happened
is.
to player 2 here.
I lost all my costumes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we kind
In
of
fact, come to think of it, where the hell even am I?
That's why
you
I
were
meant.
behind me. My shoulder pads were too great. Could not see him past my utter mass.
Actually, now that I think about it, wasn't this a boss fight we had to redo?
I imagine
no,
that's
no,
what
no,
that
no.
fade was.
It was the first one we had to redo was actually the circus one
Okay.
because one of those ones was a little elusive to me, and there you big crybaby, we saved your heart.
Yeah, we freed you from Fort Stoffer the Fourth.
The
From what?
the boss.
Oh, okay.
Regardless, just drink some coffee, pick up a hobby, like
I
don't know,
don't
try
like coffee. It tastes too
card
bitter.
games. Try card games, maybe.
Yeah, be like Hector. Play cards instead.
Honestly, if he's such a sore loser with chess, do you really think he'd be that better with cards?
True.
You just see him playing Uno. It's like, what am I meant to do?
Gosh, he would not go well with a two-player game.
You could be a bartender.
Maybe. So looking at this, the main issue because we brought up earlier, the main issue to think about with that controlled cloud port is the fact that, with any sort of cloud gaming, if those servers ever get shut off in the future, well, you now have bought a $60 brick.
Well, by that point,
That's
they'd
not-
probably just delist it.
That's true.
Yeah.
So yeah, now that he got his head out of his ass, he's actually found himself a protege.
Hey,
I found all your pieces you threw out in the other day. Can I keep them?
I'll do you better, lad. I'll teach you to be a better chess player than me.
Wait. See
do
much
it?
of myself in here. You may want to move that one. No, just.
He's
saying.
humming the theme.
Oh.
He did it.
Yay!
So
Good job,
he's
Cal.
now he's learned to stop being such a self-righteous prick and actually teach a new generation of chess players.
Checkmate.
Checkmate indeed.
So there you go. He's
Not too
okay.
close to the camera, Balan.
Yeah, he's found new purpose, and we actually got enough to unlock the final batch of levels.
Snoop.
Ooh.
Just like that.
Snippety snap.
All aboard!
Get on in there.
I call sitting next to Balan.
Of course you do.
Oh.
Now, I kind of wish I could remember some of the songs from Polar Express, actually.
I remember a couple of them. I would have to look them up though. Like the hot chocolate song.
Yeah, that's one I don't remember. Like, I think the only one I can sort of remember is the one between the two kids when they have that slow song about getting presents.
Oh yeah, when Christmas comes to town.
I'm sorry, when you said that, Jordy, the first thing that popped up in my head was the fucking hot dog dance.
Hot dog,
The
hot
what?
dog, hot diggity dog.
Hot dog, hot diggity dog. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
all the way up to World 12, the last world. So at this point, the main thing that James and I are collecting statues is that in addition to having to beat each of the world's bosses, you can't skip any of them. You do need to acquire a certain number of statues to beat the final boss. So join us in the next part as we're gonna just keep right on at this again. Daily grind, signing up for work.
I realized, Logan, this is the sad part where my parents died.
Oh no. I'm
That
gonna
is
be
that blunt
sad.
force trauma I ever pressed.
Goodbye, everybody.
I like to consider myself a love expert.